The Arizona Cardinals are currently on a bye week, but that doesn't mean we don't have anything to talk about. Right now, the Twitter world is completely exploding between Kyler Murray and Patrick Peterson. Let's dive right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Roll that intro. What's going on, Arizona sports fan family? Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Definitely do me one huge favor. Smack the like button on this video and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. We're pretty much throwing videos out daily on this channel, so definitely subscribe and join the community. And also follow me on all my social platforms. Alright, everybody, let's go and dive right into it here right now. If you guys don't know, Patrick Peterson does have his own podcast. It's called the All Things Covered podcast. Now, we did kind of cover something pertaining to this podcast when he actually spoke about, Steve Keim, and I actually did agree with him. I made a video about it, but he did go on today talking about Kyler Murray and being that, Cliff Kingsbury is going to be the scapegoat. And honestly, to me, he kind of, crossed a uncharted territory. Now, I still do respect everything that Patrick Peterson has brought to this Arizona Cardinal organization when he was drafted over to us, but at this point I think he needs to kind of calm down, because Kyler Murray did end up coming back and tweeting right back at him, and we're going to have everything that you need to know about this whole confrontation. Now, let's go ahead and play the clip from Patrick Peterson pertaining to, obviously, Kyler Murray and the state of the Arizona Cardinals right now. So let's go ahead and dive right into it.
Yeah, you think Cliff Kingsbury may be the scapegoat in regards to their struggles?
It ain't no maybe. He will.
He will be.
Yeah, he will be. He will be. And the crazy thing about it, the guy who hired him will still have a job.
Yep, it sounds about right. Initially, I was thinking that they probably would stick with him because of the contractual agreement he has. But now, just seeing how bad they've been, and then
they fired a coach at the season, man.
Yeah, and he signed that extension last March. But see, just verbally now, vocally, Kyler Murray is talking about, and I don't like how he's doing that. I think he should keep some things privately, but it tells me he doesn't care about his head coach. And he's putting everything on the head coach, basically saying
Kyler Murray don't care about nobody but Kyler Murray. That's just a matter of the fact.
I gotta hey, I can't argue that. I don't know him personally. You played with him for a few years, so I got to take your word for it.
Now, obviously, there's a lot to unfold within that 1 minute clip there. Now, obviously, Patrick Peterson still has a vendetta against Steve Keim, and it's very obvious that he does. Now, I personally don't like Steve Keim either, so I didn't really care that he was saying these things about the GM. But then he started talking about, Cliff Kingsbury being the scapegoat of the Arizona Cardinals. If Cliff were to get fired, most likely Steve Keim won't get fired. Now, I hope we don't live in this world. I really don't, because let's be honest here, I do believe that we do need to go ahead and get rid of both. If Cliff goes, Keim needs to go as well. But he truly believes that Cliff is going to be the scapegoat more than anything. Now, they also talked about the extension, and honestly, Patrick Peterson doesn't think that it's a big deal because they ended up letting go Steve Wilkes in 1 year. So it's probably going to happen the same thing with, Cliff Kingsbury. Now, the juicy part is where the end goes, where Patrick Peterson ends up stating that, Kyler Murray only cares about Kyler Murray. Now, and I think that's kind of where it started, this whole fire, right? This whole kind of brush fire within the Twitter world, saying that Kyler Murray doesn't care about anybody else but himself, right? Honestly, kind of calling him selfish, and I don't agree with that personally. Now, I know there's a lot of narrative out there, there's a lot of things being said negatively about Kyler Murray, and I do believe that the moment that the Arizona Cardinals start winning more is going to be the moment that a lot of people can finally stop talking about Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. We get that went ahead and gave him an extension. We get that we're not playing up to the level of a franchise quarterback, but it's not all on Kyler. It's on everybody, right? It's on Cliff. It's on the offensive line. It's on the injuries. It's on Steve Keim. It's on absolutely everybody. So definitely to say that, Kyler Murray doesn't care about, anybody but him is definitely pretty messed up to say. Personally, don't think that is the absolute truth. Now, we did actually get DeAndre Hopkins chime in as well in the Twitter world, and obviously in the Twitter world, there's not any specifics, there's no ats or anything like that. I'm only assuming he is basically coming to the aid of Kyler Murray, and DeAndre Hopkins says this: you don't kick a man when he's already down. So, I mean, it honestly kind of seems like obviously DeAndre Hopkins is coming to the aid of Kyler Murray, whether you believe that tweet is for Patrick Peterson or not. That is basically the superstar wide receiver that Kyler Murray is throwing the ball to, and I'm choosing to believe that is going to be a W, right? That's a great win for Kyler Murray, and being that, one of his great leaders coming into, this offense is coming to his aid. Kyler Murray did end up responding to Patrick Peterson, and he says this isn't true. You are on some weird SHIT, and he tags at Patrick Peterson. You got my number. If you really felt like this as a big bro or a mentor, you're supposed to call me and tell me, not drag me so your podcast can grow. So essentially he's telling him like, hey, we should have kind of, kept this closed doors more than anything, right? I don't think he's happy the way that Patrick Peterson has handled this whole, Kyler Murray situation. Now, I think this whole kind of thing stems from when Kyler Murray ended up saying that the play that happened in 4th down, they were systematically effed. And I think a lot of national people took that as that he was kind of throwing Cliff Kingsbury under the bus. And whether that's the case or not, I don't know, right? I can't really kind of say or agree or disagree, but that's kind of where the narrative is coming from, where a lot of people are kind of running with it, right? Kyler Murray doesn't like Cliff. Cliff doesn't like Kyler. That whole situation that's been kind of fueling this terrible season for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, me specifically, where I side, obviously, like I said a little earlier, I do respect what Patrick Peterson has done for the Arizona Cardinals organization, but I gotta back my quarterback here, right? I truly do believe that, if Patrick Peterson really did truly believe this about Kyler Murray, maybe keep that, behind closed doors more than anything. Now, I know a lot of people are going to go ahead in the comments and say, well, Mike, you wanted him to talk about, obviously Steve Keim. Now, I think that's a big difference here, right? I think players should have some sort of discretion with each other. If they have any beef, they should definitely, handle that professionally. Being that he's actually attacking a GM and his number one job is to build a winning roster and a winning culture, and being that Steve Keim has only won one playoff game in the 10 years he's been an Arizona Cardinal GM, honestly, I don't have any beef with this whole situation with him trying to out Steve Keim, because honestly, I want him gone as well. I think the root problems is Steve Keim more than anything. So that is basically what's going on currently right now. Patrick Peterson and Kyler Murray not seeing eye to eye, or Kyler Murray wanting, Patrick Peterson to kind of, handle things differently. How do you guys feel about this whole situation? Put everything in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cards.